everyone. Welcome to another coaching call with Neato Marketing. We're excited to have you. We've got a couple attendees here, and I know a few people emailed in. We're really excited about this topic, but just were not able to join us. So be sure to watch the recording if you're not able to attend. We're also live on Facebook, so hello Facebook people if you are there. But without further ado, I'm going to welcome Ivan. He is our Google manager. He's been with us for how long? 6 months? Longer than that?
I believe since October 2018.
Quite a while. And the more and more I learn about Ivan, the more I realize like he's a Google mastermind and he's quiet about it and he's quite humble about it. But I hope you can celebrate that today, Ivan, because you're awesome. We're so lucky to have you on our Montessori team. And he is the mastermind behind all of our Neato accounts as well. So he makes the adjustments and kind of moves things around to make them truly work. So Ivan, thank you for joining our call today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
That's really my pleasure.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to talk about specifically the difference between smart ads and expert mode. And I know we get that question quite often, like what is that? How do we do it? Where's the best way to kind of target our money? So we'll go through that today. But if you wouldn't mind, Ivan, just heading into what is smart mode and what that looks like, kind of bring it.
Okay, so the smart campaign is the easiest way you can start with Google Ads. So basically Google guides you step by step on how to create your campaign, and you can instantly start it in, I would say, 15 minutes or something like that. This is the biggest good point about this. Another part of this smart campaigns is that you cannot optimize it properly. So you can start it, you can run it, I would say with a budget about $100, $200. But if you have a budget and you want to make it seriously, I would say that you should start with expert campaign. It might sound quite a bit difficult, and it might be easy, but for me, it's at this point isn't. So, but I think we'll cover this. I think we'll go through setuping of smart campaign. I will show you step by step how it's done and what it can provide you with. And then we can jump into our expert campaign and see what other features Google can give you if you go for expert mode.
Sure. So Ivan, can you tell us why Google would set up a smart mode? What is the purpose of that, and how does that help certain people?
This is like first touch point of Google with you. If you're just starting online, if you have a local business and you start online, you heard about Google My Business, and then Google will promote you with Google Smart Campaigns as the easiest method to start. And this is the way Google reaches out to their first customers. So they will start working with Google and they will spend money, and at some point they will convert to expert campaigns and maybe delegate their campaign to someone else. So Google, what the point of this one is to start with you, and then at some point Google will wants from you more and more, so you will invest into it because it's addicting. If you start digital marketing and you see your results, it's addicting.
Is that why you're so good at what you're doing?
I'm trying to.
Awesome. All right, so you're going to show us how to set up a smart campaign, right?
Yeah, let's try to do it right now. Let me share my screen. Okay, Google Chrome. Okay, sure. Okay, let me know if you can see it.
Yep, I can see it. I'm just going to make sure I get chat. If you are here live, feel free to chime in any comments or questions. I'll make sure to keep an eye on that as Ivan's presenting.
Okay, great. So for this purpose, we created two different accounts, new test accounts. First one is our Smart School, and the second one is our Expert School. And we'll try to promote them on Google. And let's get started. So this is the first screen you will see when you start a Google Express campaign or Smart campaign, as they call them. And let's go with, at this point, we want, let's say, form submissions and maybe some tour shadows as we promote them. So let's go with get more website sales and signups. Okay, and at this point, we will want our Smart School, and it will call it smartschool.com. Great thing. And sorry if this is someone's name. Okay, let's say that we have a school in Phoenix, Let's use our others for this purpose. Okay, it doesn't allow us to do it. Okay, let's go with Phoenix, Arizona, and let's go with at this point. Okay, great. This is what targeting options Google gives us. We can use either radius or specific areas. In this point, it's city. Let's go with next. Okay, and right now, Google asks us what our product is. So we are a school. We want to let them know that we are a school. We do some education. So let's say we have elementary school. Let's say we have middle school as well. What other options do we have? Preschool. And yeah, this is something funny. Look how they brought Montessori for
That's
this.
cool. Made the list.
Yeah, so this is the only thing that Google gives us ability to do. We just can use their list and add general keywords. We can't at this point say what kind of keywords this word should be. So in Google Expert mode, what we can do, we can use different match types, how we call it.
Dave, I'm going to pause you for just a question.
Yeah.
Because I'm noticing this, and I know David's on the call, and he probably noticed this too. Montessori is spelled wrong.
Yes, spelled wrong. This is what I tried to mention.
Do we not want to include that? Because spelled wrong, then it won't.
This is what Google specifies as keywords. So
Someone's going to tell Google.
I saw a really weird methods to write Montessori word. Like all the search terms you can imagine, I saw them all.
Yeah.
So this is not the worst one, I would say.
Okay, but seriously though, do we want to include that, or like will that?
I would say in the next way, when we create this campaign, we won't be able to know what kind of search terms we are triggering anyway. So we can trigger search term like Montessori spelled in this way, and we can trigger, okay, yeah, actually we can fix it.
Oh, we can edit it, okay, good.
Okay, here, but anyway, it's misspelling from Google, which is a rare thing, and I would pay attention to these things. Yeah, we can add these keywords, but as I mentioned, these keywords would be broad keywords. So what I mean is that we might trigger search terms for middle separate from school. So it could be, what should I do in my business in my middle age? And we might trigger that keyword.
So
Google will,
a little bit about like breaking that up, having middle school together and then having middle and school separately. How does that work?
This is called matching of the keywords. At this point, I'm not sure if this will apply to Smart Campaign. I bet not. But what we can do in Expert Campaign is to add brackets. And this way we say to Google that we want these keywords always to be together in the search term. Only when someone types in a full search term with these keywords together, then we'll show our ads. Otherwise, we won't. Another thing to do so is to use exact match, which means that we will show our ads only when someone types in exactly middle school, only middle school, without anything else. Sometimes it can trigger ads for middle schools, but mostly it will be only middle school. And the last way is to go broader, but not crazy enough, is to add pluses, which means that we will use broad match modified, sorry, which means that we want both of these keywords to be in our search terms, but they do not have to be together. So there can be something between those two keywords, or before or after. But I'm not sure if this will apply for Google Smart campaigns. This is a good question. I never tried this because we don't usually run smart campaigns for any clients. They usually wasting some money, some budget on them. But this is a good way to start if you're afraid of a lot of data and a lot of buttons. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's do it. Let's use these keywords and let's start. Okay, so next thing is creating our ads. What Google's give us is first headline, second headline, and description. And jumping on Google Expert Campaign, what we'll be able to see that there we'll be able to create first headline, second headline, third headline, and second descriptions. So we'll have our ads twice as big as this one. Google Smart School Primary Program. Get a quality education. Let's schedule a tour today without question. Okay, great. And our web page done. So this is the ad, and Google already prepared an ad for us. So they want us to start as soon as possible. So every second counts for Google smart campaigns. So give your children the education they deserve. Yeah, good statement. So let's go with this ad. It's good enough. Uh, and yeah, we also have some tips from Google on how to create this if we don't have idea about it. And if we would like to test separate ads, we can write another ad and create some more. But for this purpose, we would only need one.
Even
And click
for
next.
ads, do you have a certain limit of ads that you can run? How many ads?
Let's see. I don't think so.
So you can run like 14 if you want, although you may not recommend that.
I don't think that budget used for a smart campaign will cover 14 ads. Usually it's under 100, under $200. So it won't cover all the ads. But as I see, we can use as much as we want, but it's not recommended because then Google will try to show every ad, and our winner ad, which can be our first one, won't appear as much as we want. So we might just kill the best ad.
Got it. So you might dilute what the capability of one of your ads because you have too many out there.
Yeah, usually what we use for our clients is 3 to 5 ads in ad group. Ad group is a list of different keywords. I will show it to you later.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with this one ad. Okay, and at this point, Google wants us to choose the budget. It even recommend that this is our budget. So Google says that we need to spend over 600 per reach, and how many clicks we might get. But this is hard to predict, I would say, because some schools in some areas have CTR, click-through ratio, on about 2%, for example, which is the lowest, and some has up to 10%. So this is hard to predict how many clicks we'll be able to get.
Yeah, and they're getting these numbers from an average, right?
They say so. I'm not sure if this is true, but yeah, they say so. Enter your own budget. Yeah, if we will try to enter our own budget, they will say what budget our competitors use. This is also not something I think we'll be able to find in expert mode, and that's why I'm not sure about where this information from. But this is what they say us, and let's go with 21 at this point, or no, let's go with 15. As I said, I won't recommend to spend on smart campaigns over $300. This is, I would say, maximum. This is only for trying purposes. Maybe if you have maybe some event or something else and you would like to promote it like for a few days or for a few weeks, then you can try with smart campaigns. But still, if you know at least 10% about expert mode on Google Ads, you will be able to create much better ads and much better performing campaigns.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay, let's go next. Okay, and that's all that we need to do. So as you saw, the whole process will take, if I want to explain everything, it will take less than 5 minutes maybe, if you know what kind of keywords you are bidding for. And after we click next, we almost won't be able to edit anything. So let's go for it. Okay, so here is our dashboard for a smart campaign. And this is all we can see. This is more user-friendly than expert mode because it's dedicated to customers who know very little about Google Ads dashboard, like the actual one. That's why they prepared it in a very visual form, so you can track all the impressions, clicks, amount spent, all the main metrics for you at this point. And later on, if you would like, you can change your ads, and I believe keywords as well. Let me check.
So Ivan, I don't see, and maybe it's on a different screen, or maybe it's not a part of this, is conversions. So are you only tracking your impressions?
This is the main point. Yes, we didn't had a chance to set up our conversions. So we actually pay for impressions and clicks, for clicks only because it's pay per click.
Got it. So inside of smart ads, you're looking to really get your name out there and get people clicking on your ads, but it stops there, at least for the
Yeah.
tracking.
I would say maybe for branded campaign, if you would like to cover your competitors on Google search, for example, if you would like to your school to be first on Google search results, then maybe you would think about creating a smart campaign really quickly, and you'll be able to show your ads, some of your branding ads on top of the screen. Then if you even driving, let's say calls, then it will be even better because there is what Google Smart Campaigns give us is a call number in our headline. So a person will be able to call you from clicking your ad. So they won't have to find your number on your website. They will be able just to click it and go to call you. And that's all for Google Smart Campaigns at this point, for example.
Got it. Got it. And when we talk about conversions, we're talking about people calling you, filling out a form on your site, scheduling a tour. Did I miss any other conversion?
Download tuition, for example. Anything. Conversion can be anything. Chats. We usually recommend using chats on school's website, for example, as well, because it's converting really well. And to set up all these conversion actions and to know which keywords brought us conversion, so we'll be able to optimize our budget and spend more on profitable keywords and ads, we'll need to set up conversion tracking. And at this point, this is not possible with Google Smart Campaigns. Mm-hmm. As you can see, this is the whole dashboard we can have here. And the same thing goes for analytics. So we won't be able to see our search terms exactly. So we won't know what search term the person typed in to find our ad. That's why we won't be able to optimize our ad groups and have more relevant keywords in our ads. Google says this, some of these search phrases will appear here, but they will be really general and they won't show you all the irrelevance you will pay for. We saw it for other clients. Lately, we have a lot of different clients using this with a higher budget, I would say up to $500, and we preparing them an audit. And this is what we tell to them, that first of all, you need conversion actions on your website. Second of all, you need to track what you are paying for, because it's hard to do this with smart campaigns. Another thing that I wanted to mention, when you try to pause your campaign, this is when Google will try to reach you back. They want you to stay and they want you to pay for your ads because this is how they make their money. And you won't find something like this on expert school, expert mode. So this is a good thing to mention, I think. Keep an eye on pause campaigns. Yeah, it's without feedback. Thank you. Okay, that's all for smart campaigns. Do you have any questions, or maybe somebody of our viewers have?
Yeah, if you are live and you want to know about smart campaigns or have any specific questions, please do chime them in. I'm understanding more and more why Google would want to do this.
Yeah.
It's definitely a stepping stone into a very big ocean of expert mode campaigns that I know we're going to move into now and talk about. But it makes sense. I actually didn't realize that you can't track conversions. So if you are running these on your own, you'll get the impressions and the clicks, you'll get that information, but that almost, it feels, now being like immersed in the marketing world, it's like half the information that you truly need to make things efficient inside your ads.
If someone use smart campaigns, there is a way to track conversions. This will be with Google Analytics. So you will need to set up all your goals inside of Google Analytics, connect Google Analytics with your website. And then inside of Google Analytics, you might be able to see what keywords brought you conversion, but because of different attribution model between Google Ads and Google Analytics, it may be either delayed or attributed incorrectly. This is the reason we use Tag Manager for conversion tracking. So we'll be able to see exactly what happened.
Sure. That sounds like a ninja move. Like you have to really know what you're doing in Google Analytics and here to be able to track all that.
I would say so, yeah. You will need support with Google Analytics if you just run a school and want some digital marketing. This is something you will need to help with. But after you're done, you can try to go with it, but this is not something we can recommend at this point.
Right. Well, and we're currently working on some support in Google Analytics. I know we've got a couple members that want to know more and have had some really great questions and
Yeah.
resources we can provide. So we're working on that so we can help you understand analytics a lot more. We did have a coaching call maybe about 6 or 7 months ago on this specifically. So if you want to refer to that, you can do that. But for sure, these resources will be coming out. And Yvonne, I know you've got a hand in that. So I'm sure it will be thorough and amazing.
Yeah, I really respect people who want to track everything inside of their business, especially on their website. And this is why you need analytics.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's actually, oh my God, how do I hide this? Okay, let's wait for this to go. And I will be able to click, oh yeah, here it is. Okay, great. We're in expert mode right now. This is a blank account, so there's not much going on. But at this point, what we'll do, we'll create, let's say, a general campaign for our expert school, for primary and elementary, for, let's say, for two ad groups. And we'll see how it works and how to set up something like this for your own. So I will try to simplify it as much as possible, but still there is a lot to cover. So let me know if I'll need to pause and explain something, okay? Okay, let's go with new campaign at this point. Okay, we have a first question. What we want to get? We usually go with leads because this is what we call a form submission or a tour scheduled. It's a lead. It's not a sale actual because we can't attribute amount we got from this person at this point, but it's still a more specific thing than website traffic. So I would say let's go with lead. And next question, what we want? We want search, display, shopping, or video. Search is something when you type in inside of Google, in search, this is the ad you'll see. So if first 3 to 4 ads might be actual ads, not organic result, but ads. And this is what we can use for our business. So when someone looks for us, we want to be first on the page so they will be able to find us quickly and click on our ads. Second thing is display. It's a banner ads that you can see on all the websites. Next, shopping. It's for e-commerce business. And the last one is video if you want to run videos on YouTube. Okay, let's go with search. And what we want website visits. And our website will be www.expertschool.com. Okay, let's continue with search campaign. Okay, and as we can see, this setup is much more robust as we had in Smart. And this is just beginning for Google Ads. So as we mentioned, we want to have a general campaign for general traffic. Next question, what we have networks. What we want, do we want a search network or do we want a display network as well as our search traffic? What does it mean? Search network means that we can actually, our ads can be shown on Google partners. So when you have some searches inside of big newspapers, let's say Times New Roman, oh my God, that's font. New York Times, I meant. You might find ads there. And this is where we can show our ads as well. So we usually keep this because some people look for their search terms there as well. But for display, we say no. What does it mean is that our text ads will be converted to an image and you will see them on the website. You know, this ads that like just a text ad without any image, like a banner ad on the website. It looks really unprofessional. And if you would like to use display network as well, we recommend to create another campaign specifically for display only. So at this point, we turn this on. And Google says that don't miss the opportunity to reach people, but this is the another way we can lose some of our money on these clicks. So this might be irrelevant. That's why Google tried to get us into it. Okay, locations. At this point, this is much more robust. So we can open our locations. We can go to Arizona and we can target any specific place we want. So let's say we want to get radius And what we're able to do, we can say that we want 5-mile radius, and we can use a pin mode. So we can just drop a pin and say that from example, from this place, we want 5 miles. And we also know that some of our parents' prospects live over here, for example. And in this way, we are able to cover more, and we can add as much targeting as possible. Usually, we get zip codes from schools, which is a good thing. So they have a database of their families, and we know exactly where their clients live. That's why we are able, yeah.
Yeah, so Ivan, when you have a radius, can you actually draw specific areas? Like rather than just a circle, can you target, like let's say Highway 17 right along that way, or does it always have to be a circle within a?
No, in radius, it's circle. What we can do, we can target in locations if we know specific zip codes, or if we know specific, let's say, cities. So we want this area, for example, and we can go with this with Tampa, Arizona, Phoenix target, and target this specific city. And we can cover them one by one through our highway, let's say. So this is usually the thing we spend a lot of time on. So we try to find the best targeting options. And if we have a bigger area to cover, we use radius, because radius, let me show it to you. So if we cover Mesa, for example, in Arizona as well, what we can see is that there is overlap and there might be gaps between these two zip codes. And actually there might be people living there and we won't cover them. That's why we use, here. So we covered both of the cities, and here we can see a gap, and we won't cover these people, and we will get less impressions and might lose a conversion. Mm-hmm. That's why we usually try to use radius for bigger targeting. For smaller targeting, we use zip codes and cities.
Got it.
So
that's really helpful to get a list of zip codes.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're looking at doing this, definitely check out a map and start, figuring out the exact areas of where your families are coming from and areas that you want to.
Yeah, because sometimes some of the clients do not live as close to your school as you might think. Mm-hmm. So some of them might live in better areas, better neighborhoods, and just drop their children at their school. That's why we're
from work. They'll mm-hmm. have that. And also, depending on what your community is and how many Montessori schools are there, you might have to expand your reach even a little bit further if there mm-hmm. are Montessori schools that exist in your area, but that people obviously want to come to your school. So
yeah, this is something to test. So Google Ads is about analytics and test. So you take a look what is working for you, and you test new things to see if they will beat your best one. Mm-hmm. And in this way, you are able to expand. Okay, and let's save it. And next thing, this is really, really important one, location options. What we can see here, what Google does. Google, by default, adds all the people who are in or who show interest in our targeted location, and Google says that it's recommended. What does it mean in practice? That let's say someone from California is looking for their local city called, let's say, Glendale, because there's a lot of Glendales, I believe. And they are looking for this particular city. And we do target Glendale, but in Arizona. What Google see and what Google might understand by this is that they're interested in your location. They're not in your location, but interested in it. That's why Google will show your ads to this person. This sometimes it might be a good thing. Sometimes usually it's a bad thing. So let's say you live in a bigger city, and a lot of parents who travel to your city, they look for schools before they come to their new location in your city. And this is when you might want to try to go with show interest in your locations, because they actually might show interest in our location. But this might drive some irrelevant clicks, irrelevant traffic from people all over the world, not only the United States. So if someone looking from Europe for a school in Arizona, in Phoenix, then we will show our ads to them. So usually, yeah.
So if when it says people in or who show interest in, let's say they type in Glendale and they don't type in Arizona, they just type in Glendale, you'll pick up that traffic, right?
We might. Yeah, we can't say in which way Google will show them that. This is what Google keeps to them. So we can't know all the kitchen they have there.
Oh, why not?
I wish. We'll be able to see some geo reports later. We won't be able to see them at this point, but later when we have some traffic, we'll be able to open them up and see every single click and see every single zip code from which we got a click. And this is a good thing about Google Expert Mode, that we'll be able to see everything what's going on here. So let's go for people in or regularly in your target location. This is something Google changed. A few months ago, there was only people in your target location, but there was not like enough irrelevant clicks for Google. That's why they added regularly. So it means someone drives through your location or someone visits Phoenix few times a month, for example, or a year. Google will say that they usually are in Phoenix, so let's show them that. This is something we don't want. Another thing is excluded locations. We want people who are in our excluded locations. What we can do in Google, let's say we do not want to have traffic from Tampa. So we, for some reason, do not like it. Where it is. Okay, let's. Tampa. Yeah, what we can do, we can exclude it. So we won't show our ads to this people in particular. This is usually if we had a client who was on the border of two states, and they wasn't able, I believe, to take people from other states or something like this. Mm-hmm. And we, I believe it was in Oregon, and we had to exclude another state, and in this way cut off irrelevant traffics because we know that these are not our leads. Okay, let's go next. Languages. By default, it's English and it's fine, so people will understand our ads if they're written in English. Audiences, for this purpose, let's keep the audiences. It's something to test. We can test different kind of audience available, so we can say that we want, let's browse, let's see who they are, and we can add a parental status, and we can add parents of preschools.
Sorry, Ivan, can I ask a question about language?
Absolutely.
If we add it, so some of our programs have Spanish programs and families. If we added that, what does that do? I mean, it just then can show it in Spanish if somebody's searching in Spanish. Is that
what it defines is your settings of your browser from which you are Googling this search term. So if your settings in my case, it's Google Chrome. If my settings are in English, then I will see this ad. If they're in Spanish, then I won't see ad in English, written in English.
Got it. So if you do have, or if you're searching for families who speak Spanish and you don't have it in here, is it?
I would use completely different campaign for this one because we'll have completely different data from this different targeting. So this is something to test. And usually we do not want to mess data between two different campaigns. So in one case it's for English, in another for Spanish. And we'll just be able to see what CTR are we getting. And we'll see if we need to tweak our ads a bit to improve our CTR and see what conversions we are getting. So I would say if we would like to do so, I would say we'll create a general campaign Spanish and go for it and try if this works for us. And we'll write our ads in Spanish, and we'll try to get traffic from this language as well.
Got it. So rather than putting it all in one campaign, you would say break it up into separate ones so you have the data to see what works.
Yeah, I would say so because this is something we can change in campaign level, not on ad group level or ads, only on campaign level. So that's why we'll need a separate campaign for this. And let's go with parents of preschoolers. And I will show to you how to adjust our bids. So we'll be able to bid for this particular category. What does it mean is that Google, in some ways, we don't know what these ways are, knows that you might have a children, for example. And Google will try to define what age your children is, and will add you to this particular category. Again, I'm not sure in which way they attribute this data, but based on Facebook case, I think they have some methods on getting this information.
Got it. And also looking at this list, so toddlers in our school are typically 1 to 3, but it looks like parents of preschoolers start at 4 and 5, and we have this gap between 3 and 4 that we're looking for specifically for schools. So especially schools that start at the primary level, they want to look for 3-year-olds. So would you put both toddler and preschool in one, or how does that work?
This is observation. So as we can see here, observation. What does it mean? Is that we'll be able to adjust our bid. We won't only target. If we'll change it to targeting, we will show our ads only to these people. And this might narrow our audience and our impressions. And this is not something we want. We want to go with observation. And what we can do in observation is to increase our bids in case someone is in this category. So we'll add a toddlers as well. And we'll increase our bids by, let's say, 20% for preschoolers and by 5% for toddlers. In this way, we'll not overpay for this category, but still will increase our bids a bit for them. Mm-hmm. Okay, I will show it to you how that later. Okay, now
this is great. I hope everybody attending to and watching is learning a lot. This is really fascinating.
Okay, and now we came to budget and bidding. This is something you need to have more theoretical information about, especially about bidding, about how it works. But we'll go with some of the easiest methods. Okay, for budget, let's say our budget, we can control it. We have, next thing, yeah, we set up budget for day. This is something to know. Most of the schools have their marketing budget by month. So if you have marketing budget by let's say $1,000 monthly, your budget will be $33 per day, which will be roughly $1,000 monthly. And next thing, delivery method. If you want to test something really quick and want to get as much data as possible, then you will go with accelerated method. In this way, Google will try to spend as much as possible, as fast as possible, and to show your ads to as many people as possible. So it will try to do their best to spend the money fastest. In this way, you can get your data about your clicks and about your keywords faster, but you will might spend more. Okay, but we usually go with standard method because we are doing long-term for most of the ads. Okay, next thing, Google tries to simplify everything for us. So Google says this, what do you want to focus on, clicks or impression share? We won't go with anything. We'll click on this blue text. We want to select our bid strategy directly. And Google do not recommend it because it's too robust and too good for most of the schools. What we can do here, we can either go with maximize clicks. This is a good way to start. So you will try to get as many clicks as possible in the lowest price per click. When you attribute enough data, you might want to try different bidding strategies as well. But for a start, maximize clicks is a good option to go. Another thing I would say, if you want to mostly be on top of the page and you want to cover the most amount of traffic possible, then you will go with target impression share. What does it mean is that we want to be on top of page results in 100% of time, like each time we want to be on top, but we do not want to pay more than $10 per click. So this is the way to set up target impression share. But maximize clicks is the easiest way, and it's good enough. So we'll go with it. And we might say what our maximum CPC is, maximum cost per click, CPC. But at this point, we don't have this information. So we'll go with blank. And show more settings, something else. I believe that's all at this point. We'll later show how to set up set up conversions. And there are extensions. So we have site-link extensions, callout extensions, and call extensions, but I think we'll cover them as well a little bit later. And at this point, we are ready to save and ready to actually build our campaign because it's on the settings for a campaign. So you can see why most of the people like to start with Smart Campaign. This is a good way and easiest way to start because you won't have to read and Google a lot on what you need to pick here. This is why we created this Google course. If someone wants to create something like this by themselves, we try to explain it as much as possible how to do so without like spending tens of hours learning about everything.
Yeah, and it's a lot of details, and of course, once you press go, after you've figured out all of the the settings and whatnot and the targeting, and you have to come back to it and you have to analyze the data to see what's working. You can't just kind of leave it. And so I think that's another fear that a lot of our members have is, okay, I get this makes sense, but now, having to maintain it and keep your eyes on it and optimize as much money because, every dollar counts. It can be daunting.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we did here, we went with maximize clicks, which is automated bid strategies. For more, I would say for bigger cities where there is more competition, we usually go with manual CPC. What does that mean is that we'll need to change bids for our keywords like manually. And this is where the most of work is about. So we will need to see if this is the keyword we want to bid for and how much we want to bid for. So Google is an action. You are not the only one who are trying to market their service or business on Google. There's a lot of competitors who are doing the same, and they are trying to get your client, and that's why they are bidding more for the keywords, and they might actually steal your traffic. That's why you will try to bid more than them, and this is going on and going on like action. So
sounds like a game.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, it's addicting. Okay, let's.
There's definitely tendencies of like, a few times I thought about like, oh, this is kind of like gambling. Like you're bidding on a certain impression and, you have to adjust it and you don't know what the other person is going to bid. And so you've got to figure that out. So it's like a game of poker.
With a higher budget, with a budget 1,000 plus, I would say, you can have consistent results from month to month. You will have the same amount of leads, mostly the same, because schools do not have as much leads as, I don't know, pen selling business. So they are selling tons of pen, and you won't be able to get as much leads as they do, but you'll be able to consistently get your leads from month to month in mostly the same price. So this is an up point. There is not only a hard work besides this, but there is a good results which you might achieve with well done Google Ads.
Sure. Yeah, and we have quite a few that are very successful under your care.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what keep me going. Okay, let's save it and see what we have at this point. Okay, Google helps us. What Google does, and this is something we didn't have in our Smart Campaign. We have a term called ad groups. What does that mean? Is that we might have different programs in our schools and we want to use different keywords and different ads for each program, because we don't want people who are looking for elementary see our general ad with name of our school and let's say primary program. We want them to see exactly the ad they would like to see. So they will click on it. So they will know that we do have this service and you can find it in our school. And let's go in ad group. And as I mentioned, let's go with elementary.
And actually a question. Do you want to finish explaining this and then I'll pull up that question for you?
Let's check it. And Google Business as account the same? If so, why to div account? Okay, Google Business account is something different. Google Business it's the way for you to have your business on this right panel when someone search for exactly your business name. So let's say I would need a VPN for this one, but if you Google a school or a bigger service in your area, you will see as a box on the right side, which says their business name, their logo, with their map, and some contact details, let's say. And this is also what is needed for each and every local business. So this is something you will need to claim from Google. They will send you a verification code, which you will need to input. So you will need to verify that you actually a business owner to create something like this. Google Ads, it's you do not have actually to have a business for starting Google Ads. You can promote your book even if you do not have business. And this is how they differ. So Google Ads is marketing only, and Google Business is for branding your business and to be visible locally for your branded key phrases.
How do they work together if they do?
There is something called location extensions in Google Ads, and this is where you can connect your Google business. And when someone, when someone types in your, let's say, Montessori elementary keyword, they will see location extensions to your particular school, and they will be able to, in one click, open you on the map and find direction to your school. And this is where we usually connect Google My Business with Google Ads. But this is not something really must have. Mm-hmm. Google My Business is something you need to stop first. So you will be visible when someone is looking for you. Otherwise, you will be just a small link in text when someone types in your business name.
Got it.
Okay, great. Let me know if that was the answer to your question or if I missed something.
All right, and Ivan, we have probably about 15 or so more minutes.
Okay, we'll need to run through it. Okay, elementary. Well, let's go. What we can do here, as I mentioned, we can go with different keywords matching. So we'll go with Montessori elementary plus school. And in this way, we tell Google that we want each and single word on this key phrase. Next thing, what we do want to have the same key phrases, but with different match. So we want them to be both separately and together to see which one works the best. Then we can add like exact match Montessori elementary. And these are the keywords we know that people might type in, but they also might type in absolutely different keywords that won't apply to what we brought. That's why we will want to analyze regularly and see what works the best. Okay, if we don't have much time, we'll go with one ad groups for now. If you would like to create, let's say for different program, you will click on new ad group and create, let's say for primary, and type in exactly the keywords you've done right now.
Sure, and Ivan, we've seen, different ad groups, not just for programs, but also like private school, Montessori school. Are there any other type of ad groups that you recommend to create aside from programs that you have?
General one, Montessori. It's Montessori. It works really well. So people usually type in a Montessori exact match. So they type in one word in Google and hoping to find you. And usually they do. And we have a lot of conversions on this particular exact match keyword, which is strange, but people in some way are able to find you by this exact match. And this is what we suggest. In Montessori, we can also add Montessori school, Montessori private school, Montessori locations near me, the best Montessori school in my area, and all of the keywords you can think of. Mm-hmm. And let's go with two of these ad groups at this point. And let's save and continue. Okay, and now what we have ad builder. So Google asks us to create a more robust ads. So as you can see, there are 3 headlines. So our ads are visually bigger. There is something called display paths. What it means that we can add Montessori and school. So people will see this link without actually having this page. So they won't have to have a page school under subpage Montessori. So this is another thing we can use for Google Ads. Next thing, let's go with tests. So we won't waste our time on writing a good ad, but this is something you want to waste your time when it's your business. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Test.
And Yvonne, can you give us a little bit of direction on what you would recommend on headline 1, 2, and 3? Because I know we've had some discussions with a few of our members of what works. You know, what do you typically see as high performing?
First of all, it's your brand name and saying that you are Montessori school, because this is what people are looking for. They want to find Montessori school. We know that, and we want to create our brand in their eyes. So we want them to know our school's name. This is one thing. Another thing is programs that we offer. For this purpose, it's elementary. So we want to mention that we are expert Montessori school, and we do have elementary program. So we would say elementary program. We can say available. We can say apply in our elementary program. And as we can see, yeah, we have only 30 characters. That's why we need to tweak our ad to try to fit that. Or we can say schedule a tour without elementary then. Schedule a tour today. This is something called a CTA. It's call to action. We want to talk to people and say them what to do next. So they see our ad. This is good, but they need to take action after that. They need to click on this ad. They need to open our website. They need to schedule a tour. They need to contact us or get them more information. Because we don't only want to show something. We want to get something back. Yes, at this point, there is URL options. This is for tracking. This is more robust topic on how to add UTM sources, UTM keywords, and how to apply everything in CRM. This, I believe, a topic for later. And we say in our ads, what Google will say later is that they want us to have at least 3 ads. And this is a correct way to stop your ads. You need to have at least 3 ads in your ad group. So for each ad group, for Montessori, exact match, and for elementary, we will need to create additional 2 ads. But at this point, I think this is understandable how to do so. So we'll skip it. Save and continue. And confirmation. What we have done here. Continue to campaign. Okay, great. So we made our very first campaign inside of Google Ads. This took us longer than 5 minutes, but this will work much better for your needs. I can absolutely guarantee that. Let's pause this one for now. Okay, what we'll be able to see there. So as you remember, in Google Smart, what we only had, we had our impressions, clicks, and cost. And what we can have inside of Google Ads is absolutely incredible. We can, all of these parameters are analytics. So we can see how many search impression shares we got. So what percentage of our, oh my God, how to explain it correctly? In which percentage of all impressions we were eligible to show our ads to, we showed them. So this is something like actually how much time we showed our ads. We can see how many conversions we got. We can see our cost per conversion. We can see our conversion rate. So what percent of people who actually clicked on our ad converted. We can see conversion value if we set up this, but usually for leads, this is something harder to do. Also, we can see what we pay for. So what is our cost per click? What is our clicks? What is our average cost? Is the same, almost the same as cost per click. Everything you can imagine can be found here. And we'll have all these parameters here, and we'll know what is going on with our campaign. We can open our campaign and see which ad group got more impressions, costs, which ad spent more, which ad got more conversions. Then we can dive even deeper. We can see what keywords actually perform the best. We can see which keyword got how many impressions, what click-through ratio, what conversions amount, everything. And let's say for elementary, I want to see what people actually typing in to find my business, find my ads. I will go to search terms. I will open this and I will see every single search term someone typed in, and will understand if my ads are relevant. So let's say there's another school, Montessori Elementary School. who are in your location, and people are looking for them specifically. So let's say it's our smart Montessori elementary school, which is our competitor at this point. What we'll be able to do, we don't want to pay for their traffic. So people just misunderstood the ad and they're clicking on our ads thinking that we are another school. We'll be able to go to negative keywords and we'll add them as negative keywords. This is not something you can do in a smart campaign. You can't add negative keywords. So we don't want to show our ads for smart Montessori school phrase. So if someone types in these keywords together, only together, we won't show our ads to these people. Let's save it.
Can you say a little bit more about why we would want to do that when you've got somebody who's typing in a specific school that's not yours? Like, why wouldn't we want to bid against them?
If we have a higher budget, then we'll try to create. We'll create. I mean, we can't say how it will perform, but we'll create a competitor campaign, which is different, and we will target your competitors' brand names and try to overbid them. Sometimes it works when someone who just looking for a new school is looking for schools in their area, so we can just pop up in front of our competitor and say that we are here, we do the same, and we have better service. So pick us. But what we can get in return is parents' traffic. So let's say my child in a smart Montessori school, and I want to see, let's say, when they have a summer break, something like this, when it starts. I will Google their school name, and I will see our ads, expert ad, and I will click on it. And then this person will understand that it came in the wrong direction. This is not the correct website. And what we'll end up doing, we'll spend from $2 to $6 on one click from this person. This is not something we would like to do. So this is really, if you have budget, if you have over $1,000 budget, and if you would like specifically to target your competitors, then you might want to try it. But for your general campaign, we'll want to add this at negative keywords. So we won't spend our money on this type of keywords. And as I mentioned, audiences. Let's go to audiences and set up this one. We've added an audience, two audiences for parents. Let's open this one. Oh, okay, it's implemented in another topic. Okay, let's add it again. So I will show you to what I meant. Let's browse. Oh, okay, here it is. It's selected. I believe it's just, why it's not here? Let's add them again. First color is safe. Okay, I believe we'll need to enable our ad in order to start audiences. At this point, Google is not able to show it to us. But what we'll want to do is to adjust our bids to this particular audience. Then what else is the most important part for our campaign is conversions, as we mentioned. And this is what you can do inside of, okay, yeah, here it is, enabled. This is what we can do in Google Expert Mode. We can go in Tools Settings and in Conversions. And we can set up each and single one conversion we have on our website. We can set up calls, we can set up website visits. We can say exactly what is conversion for us. We don't want conversions for someone else. Some agencies do track, for example, particular page visits. For they might say if someone visited your contact page, they are a lead, so they wanted to contact you. But that doesn't mean they contacted you. They could just misclick or just saw your number and decide not to call you. And we want to have it in more robust way. We want to track exactly what happened, not what could have happened, but exactly what happened, what occurred. That's why we go with lead, and let's say we have form submission. Let's say form submission. Value, this is not e-commerce, so usually we don't assign value because our particular conversion doesn't have a value as its own. And count, we don't want to count every single form submission because this is the one person. If we know that this person sent submission several times, it doesn't mean that we got several leads. it's the same lead. So we go with one action. And everything else is good. And for attribution models, there is a lot that needs to be synced up. So you will understand everything that's going on. And this is something you need to know and understand how it's working to set up. And continue and edit. At this point, if you have web developer or web master, you can just ML them everything what they need to do. This is what Google gives us ability to do. If we do not have idea how it works, how Google Tag Manager works, how to set up all the tags and everything. So we can just ML it and input their email address. Okay, and usually for most of the schools, we have from 2 to up to 12 conversion actions. So let's say you have download tuition rates. This is a lead. If someone downloads your tuition rates, your PDF, this is a lead. If someone contacted you through form, this is a lead. If someone have had a chat with you, lead. Call, the same thing. So there is a ton of different conversion actions. And most of the schools do not have one program. They have several programs. And for each program, we recommend to set up a conversion action. So we know exactly what we got. And yeah, let's say we set up this conversion action. And later, as I mentioned, we can analyze what's going on. We can open locations and see how many clicks actually we got from both of our locations. And if we'll want to go deeper, we can go to geographic report. And okay, it's not available yet because we are paused. But what we'll be able to do, we'll be able to open all the zip codes, even if we do not target them. We'll be able to open them and see which one performs the best. So let's say we have two conversions from two different zip codes. But from one zip code, this conversion cost us $20, and from other 200. And this is what we want to adjust. We don't want to pay more than we could for the same conversions. Okay, and last one, extensions. As I mentioned them before, there is a ton of different extensions. And what they do, basically they make your ad look bigger. So when you Google for something and you have ad for half of the screen, there is more chances that someone will click on it because simply there is more space for this ad and most likely that they will click it. What we can do with a site-link extension is to mention all of our pages we have on the website. So people will be able to click on these site links directly from the ad and be redirected to this page. So let's say I'm looking for admissions only. So I'm looking for your school and I can see admissions from site links and I can click directly from site links to admissions. Same for call number. Someone want to call directly from ad, they won't have to open your website to call you. And call outs, it's something you want to mention. So let's say you established in 1975, which is a good thing. So your experience at school. And this is something we want to mention to these people. If you IMI or you have some other accreditation or a certificate, you want to mention it, that you have it. So people most likely will click on your ad. And after you set up everything, there comes management of what's going on here. So we recommend at least weekly to open your account and to see what's going on here. What keywords I'm paying for, what search terms I'm getting, and if I got any conversions, which conversions I got from which keywords. If I didn't, what went wrong, where I spent my majority of my money, and why I didn't got my conversions. Usually, yeah, another thing to mention, usually it takes, for Google only, it takes up to 30 to 90 days to optimize their bidding. So Google has smart robots and they are trying to do the work for us. And they're trying to find the people who will be interested in our business. And as we are getting more data from Google and as we are getting more conversions, Google will be able to perform better for you. This is proven for schools which we have for a few years now. And we know that they have consistently the same amount of leads. And if they increase their budget, they have more leads. If they decrease their budget, they have less leads. So later, this is how it works. But at the beginning, the thing is to get first conversions and then to optimize for your conversion actions.
Got it.
Cool.
Ivan, when you're talking about optimizations. Some of the things that you have to do is you have to adjust your bids. You have to look at the keywords that you've got, so keyword crafting, which also includes negative keywords, the addition of
Yeah.
those. The other optimizations that you typically run through when you're maintaining everything and just making sure you got your eyes on it.
There is a ton of things you can keep an eye on. You can know, as I mentioned, you can know everything what's going on, everything. If you have enough time, you can sit by Google Ads for days, literally. I know it. And some of the most obvious things. First of all, demographics. We can see what ages performing better for us. For schools, it's mostly 35 to 44 and above. And what we can do, let's say this age performs better for us, we'll increase our bids by 10%. So we'll bid more for these people because they are better clients for us. Another thing what we can do, we can household income. This is something really cool. We can, if you know that top 10% of household income, so this is like big guys with money. If they more likely to get conversion action on our website, will increase a bit for them. But we need to have a data for this. So it's not something you want to do blindly when you start. This is something you want to do when you have data. So we increase bids for them. Next thing, we go to our locations and we see that this radius, for example, upper one, performs better. So what we'll do, let's check which one is that. So, okay, so it's the last one, 829. We'll go here and adjust our bids by 20% because I know that from these locations, people are most likely to convert on my website. Next thing, add shadow. After we have enough data, here are days and hours. So we know that, let's say in Wednesday, people are more likely to call us some why. We don't know why. This is magic of digital marketing. So we know that they're more likely to call us. That's why we'll increase our bids for Wednesdays. We'll show our ads to them. If we do not want to show our ads at certain times, we can just adjust our schedule and say that we only want to show ads from Monday to Fridays, but this is not something we recommend. And we only want to show our ads after we start working. So let's say from 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. That sounds good. Yeah, and this is the way Google will show our ads. So you can see that we will show only in this period of time. Devices, if you know that people more likely to call us from their mobile devices, this is something proven. So when someone have call extension, which I mentioned, and they Google for your school, they're more likely to click and call you directly. They do not want to search from their mobile device. They just want to speak to a human. And this is why we want to increase bids by 10% for them, let's say. But as I mentioned, and I will try to mention it again, only if you have enough of proven data for this stuff. This is not something you want to do blindly. Sometimes digital marketing can be really irrelevant to your expectations. So you can see something and by the end of the time, it will be proven that, let's say, keyword school near me will work best for you, not even Montessori one. And you will get mission appropriate parents from this keyword. But so
you're erring or cautioning on the side of casting a bigger net before you hone in on those specific areas.
Yeah, broad first and narrow then. Yeah, directly. And there is really a ton of things that we'll consider doing. And the most important, as I mentioned, is search terms. So we want to know what exactly keywords we are paying for. Then we want to pause all irrelevant ones by using negative keywords. We'll add just them as negative keywords. We can do it directly from here, but we'll need some data to show to you how it's done.
Right.
And another thing is to test your ads. So from time to time, you'll see that different ads perform different way. So let's say Scheduler 2 perform much better than a program-based ad. It will have CTR at 6%, and this one is 2%. CTR is click-through ratio, so 6% out of 100 people will click on our ad. This is what it means. And for this only 2. So this one is better, so we'll want to pause this ad and create another ad based on this one, and try if this will get 7% or if it won't. So this is something to test and to see. And Google will try to give you some recommendations in this step. They are usually more technical, not something like game-changing with keywords. But this is something to pay attention as well. We use a lot of different strategies to manage accounts. They are really customized for each client because every location and every program at each school, they are all different. And you need to tailor it for everyone and to see what works the best and then pause what doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yvonne, this has been incredibly helpful and very informative, and I anticipate many people coming back to this particular conversation as they make the decision to either do it themselves or find somebody to manage it for you, because it is, you know, we keep saying this, how Google is so important to get out there and to use so you can find your prospective parents, but we do not advise spending money in spaces, and you know that, but spending money in spaces where you are not sure how to work it. So this is really helpful. Thank you, Yvonne. This has been awesome. I've learned so much even in just an hour, and I've been with us.
After years of digital marketing, then yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, right? It does take a while. How long have you been doing digital marketing?
I would say it's hard to say, you know. I had a lot of different like freelance clients before solutions. It's about 3 years, I would say, something like this.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Wow. Well, you're really picking up on it. This is
Trying
cool.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, everything we mentioned, there is reporting, which is interesting part.
That's
so
right. Yeah. I know. That's the cool part. So I get to be the news deliverer.
yeah.
I get to be the crafter of the reports, and I get to interpret the reports. And now I have some serious data behind it, where I can, you know, talk to some important points of the.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can track everything inside of analytics as well, but you need to know what you're looking for. Or we prepared this data studio reports with the most important data we consider from Google Ads. So you can have a quick snapshot on your performance in Google Ads and know what's going on there.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Yvonne, thank you so much for your time and joining us. And if you are a Neato member and you have, you know, you're a third or fourth plane client and you've been having Google Ads or have been thinking about Google Ads, this is the guy behind the scenes that's working constantly, almost day and night, Yvonne. I feel like you work 24 hours. I don't know.
I'm not the only one. I'm trying to, but.
Sure. So he's the one that, you know, he's the mastermind behind it. You also have so many other, you know, your brain just works so cool because we've got a lot of troubleshooting that we do to make some certain connections of like website stuff and how to optimize that and all of that. So we appreciate everything that you do for us because you just.
Thanks. In order to understand like at least Google Ads, when you dive into it, when you see how conversions work, you need to understand Google Tag Manager. And when you understand Google Tag Manager, you need to integrate it with analytics and understand how Google Analytics works. And to integrate everything, you need to know WordPress and you need to know HubSpot and you need to know all the CRMs. So after you start, it's like, I don't know, Alice in Wonderland. You just go and go.
That's awesome. All right, cool. Well, thanks again, Yvonne, for your time. And then next week, we are still working out the details, but I think we're going to have a fundraising guru on.
Yeah.
We'll be able to answer any of your fundraising questions. A lot of our schools are nonprofit. And so, of course, fundraising is a huge part of what you do. So please join us for that. Be on the lookout, too, because I think I'm going to post in Facebook, gathering your questions, because the man who's going to be presenting, which, again, I'm not going to say his name yet because we haven't solidified the date or if he will be coming next week, but he's going to want to know some questions, some specific questions that you have before our call so that he can address that. And then, of course, please do attend live because we will be able to answer questions on the spot as well. So awesome. We love having these coaching calls. Thanks again, Yvonne. And we'll see you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.